Sure. Let's start with the homeowner space. The homeowner, I can almost tell when I speak to them within the first few minutes of what their, let's call it upward pressure would be when I ask them, when did you buy the property? If they bought the property prior to 2020, that means chances are there's a lot of equity, their interest rates are low, there's less pressure to feel like they have to hit the market rent to break even or have positive cash flow. In those situations, the homeowner is simply looking for someone to outsource the property management to, so it's an easier conversation, and chances are we can strike this win-win situation. And actually, we tell people we want a three-way win. The tenants win because they find a good property to live in. The homeowners win because they take an asset that's underutilized and they get rental income, and they hopefully have positive cash flow. And of course, we win as property managers.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Real Estate Pros podcast. I'm your host, Erika, and today I'm joined by someone that I've been looking for in the chat with, Charles Phanumphai from Snowcapped Properties. Charles, it's awesome to have you on the show today.
Hi, Erika. Thank you for having me on your show.
Yeah. So, let's jump on in. For our listeners who may not be familiar with what you do, tell us about that journey. How did you get started in real estate and get into property management?
Well, I'll go back all the way to out of the necessity time back when I was in college. I was a sophomore in college, and a situation came up where my younger sister had to move in with me. So you can imagine being a college undergraduate, shifting gears from just doing your typical college thing to sort of having to take care of my younger sister. Um, I was late to the game. School had already started, and ended up not being able to find a place to rent for my sister and I. And so we ended up buying a place. This was right around the same time that I was listening to, um, uh, what is that book called, with Robert?
Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Thank you, Rich Dad Poor Dad. And so it all made sense, and it came together in that, oh, you know what? I can buy the house, finish the basement, add some more bedrooms, and we ended up renting it out 3 rooms. And my sister and I lived there essentially for free, and we covered the utilities, and it all made financial sense that way. A couple years later, as more friends through word of mouth would say, "Hey, Charles, do you have a place for rent?" And then instead of once we maxed out on the rooms that we had, I ended up buying the unit next door a couple years later, and then we just continued to grow that way out of necessity. And that was probably early 2020. Fast forward to 2019. Not knowing that COVID was around the corner, we bought more property in our own portfolio, rented those out, and it all worked out great. And renting them out as long term, which that's sort of been my bread and butter, my experience. But then 2020 came around. Was just walking through the neighborhood, and a neighbor of mine asked, who happens to do short-term rental cleanings on the side. She had mentioned that some of her clients either have a short-term rental operator that are not performing well, or they're on a wait list. They're simply not taking on any more clients. Would we be interested in managing it? So my wife and I said yes, and we sort of approached it as sort of a side hustle. Did it, you know, just again on the side, but real quickly because of the supply and demand in the area, we grew. I think we took on 12 doors in 2020, and then 2021, we were at about 35 doors, and we hit the capacity where it was just my wife and I could do it. And we asked ourselves, well,
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
what do we want to do? Do we want to stay at 35 and just sort of cash in on the income that we're getting? But we had a wait list of about 30 homeowners waiting for us to help manage them. So we ended up expanding, hired our first full-time employee in 2021, and went from about 35 doors to 65 doors in 2022. Along the way, we had a contractor who helped us as well. And then from that point on, word of mouth, a little bit of marketing, website optimization work, getting our name a little bit in front, but really, working with other tradesmen in the area, whether it's your handyman, electrician, plumber, everything just sort of spread like wildfire. And the real estate companies in the area as well, agents would refer, tenants looking for a rental place, or homeowners who are looking to rent out their place. So that grew real quickly. And now in 2025, we have about 100 doors.
That's exciting. With working the long-term rental space, what would you say are some of the unique challenges that you see in your market with property management?
The long term, right now in 2025, it seems like if I were to pick out 2020 through 2025, during the beginning of COVID was one thing, the middle was another, and now the current market, right? There have been huge swings in those 5 years alone. In the current market right now, there's a lot of supply in the long-term rental space. I feel like we have 90+% of our inventory rented out, which is great. But it's the new homeowners who are coming to us. The short-term rental space, I feel like, unless they're a property that have a niche offering, say single-family home on acreage, 4 bedrooms or above, and have something unique to it, maybe ideal location. We operate in Colorado from Winter Park to Grand Lake and Hot Sulphur. Each of those 6 towns have a little bit of a unique personality to them. But the key thing there is in Winter Park, there's a huge ski resort. Granby has a ski resort as well, though much smaller. So a lot of those areas have high density multiplex properties. Think condos, townhome apartments. Those short-term rental configurations, I think, are struggling a little bit. So homeowners are coming to us and transitioning from having their investment property be a short-term rental and converting them to long-term. And we're doing great keeping up, but I can tell that there's only so much demand. There's only so many renters looking to live there full-time. And I feel like we're potentially getting there where the market is a little bit saturated. But again, for right now, we're most of our properties are rented out.
For you, Charles, how do you determine if someone is a good fit to work within the rental space?
From the homeowner perspective,
I guess you could go, both ways as you've handled it. You've been involved in different aspects of it.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Sure. Let's start with the homeowner space. The homeowner, I can almost tell when I speak to them within the first few minutes of what their, let's call it upward pressure would be when I ask them, when did you buy the property? If they bought the property prior to 2020, that means chances are there's a lot of equity, their interest rates are low, there's less pressure to feel like they have to hit the market rent to break even or have positive cash flow. In those situations, the homeowner is simply looking for someone to outsource the property management to, so it's an easier conversation, and chances are we can strike this win-win situation. And actually, we tell people we want a three-way win. The tenants win because they find a good property to live in. The homeowners win because they take an asset that's underutilized and they get rental income, and they hopefully have positive cash flow. And of course, we win as property managers. So that's ideal. Now, if they bought in 2020 or after at a higher price point, at an interest rates that's higher, and let's say they were banking on short-term rental income that was much higher in 2021, 22, 23. If they bought in 2024, and let's say their short-term rental income was projected at 100,000, but now in 2025, they've lost 30% of that demand, that gross income. So now they're at 70%. And maybe that $70,000 per year is not even covering their overhead. Now they're struggling. So when they come to us and they try to switch it as a long-term rental, of course they want to cover all of their expense. But the rental market may not support that rental price. So homeowners now are faced with the reality that their long-term rental income could be less. And like many other conversations and other podcasts and investors, I know the conversation with those recent home buyer is more, it's not as much as what's the maximum positive income cash flow we can get you? It's how much can we minimize the bleeding, the expenses that you have if you want to hold on to that asset.
Yeah, and also you want to have quality tenants in these spaces as well. So how do you balance having cost-effective solutions, but having a premium feel that would attract those right people?
Oh, great question. So I've been doing long-term rentals for about 25 years, and I've had 3 evictions so far. And all 3 evictions happen when we made an exception to the minimum requirement to um, to take on a tenant. We have them go through a formal application. They go through credit check, background check, financial check, reference check. Oftentimes, we look them in the eye, shake their hand, check. Right there's a little bit of that X factor when you can meet them and say, everything, you might look great on paper, but something's off when we meet you, that your story just isn't right. So when we look at that, and if we don't make any exceptions, so far it's been a great experience. The 3 times oftentimes is they barely made the credit cutoff. And maybe something happened in their lives where, a lot of times it's a divorce or they had an injury, they couldn't keep up with their bills. And of course, it pulls on the soft strings, the heartstrings, right? And we are like, you're so close. Okay, we'll make the exception. And so far, every time we've done that, it's led to 3 evictions. So sticking to our minimum requirements, I think is going to be our best path moving forward.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I feel like that kind of transitions perfectly to what I was going to say. Like, as I'm sure you know, every real estate pro has a moment, that really tries them. What's that been like in property management? What's been the the hardest thing that you've dealt with, and were there any valuable lessons from that?
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Oh wow. The hardest thing, when we do make decisions, right? You have almost two ends. One is very analytical, fact-based, data driven, and then you have, like I mentioned, that heartstring moment. I think the hardest one to date was in from 2020 when we really first started Snowcap Properties to this scale. We were always on an upward trajectory. The economy was doing well. There's just a lot of, we would list the property for rent, and usually we can turn around and find a good qualified tenant within 30 days. So in 2024, at the end of it, I ended up hiring a contractor to help out in anticipation that 2025 would be very similar to previous years. But come late spring, early summer, I realized that the real estate rental landscape was a little bit more stagnant in the area that we operate. I tried to hang out and to cover the expenses for as long as we could, but just 3 weeks ago, we just had to look at the business and say, look, we're not doing as well as we would have by keeping the contractor. So I did have to let her go, and try to be as fair, as straightforward as possible. That this is nothing to do with our performance or what we wanted to do, but the growth had just come to a stagnant, pause. So we had to let her go. We're doing great at about 100 doors that we operate and manage today, and just waiting to see what 2026 will look like.
Yeah. So, speaking of 2026, what do you see next on the horizon? What are you looking to scale or solve next with Snowcap Properties?
Oh, that's a great question. Out of the 100 doors or so that we manage, the majority all are long term, with the exception of one that's a short term. The bigger short term properties, again, that have a niche, I think are doing well. So if we open our doors to manage that in 2026, that could be an opportunity. Although I do think that there's plenty of short-term rental operators in the area, so I'm not sure if by opening our door to do that, are we continuing to differentiate ourselves from staying in the long-term space. That is an option. We'll just have to see. I actually was just talking to a homeowner yesterday who's looking to buy a gorgeous um, 5-bedroom single family home. And he even said, like, I see on your website, it says long-term rentals, but I really like what you guys are saying on your website. Would you reconsider? And so now I am reconsidering, although again, I'm not sure if that's what we're going to do. But a big opportunity there, if the market changes and we can grow, I'm looking forward to adding on that additional FTE to help the business grow. My target this year was 120 doors, but because of the landscape, we dropped it back down to 100. We let the contractor go, and I think we're doing good. But a great opportunity that I look forward to seeing in 2026 is our homeowners eventually want out. They're going to want to sell, and now that they know that we can sell for them, I think we started the transactional side of buying and selling November of last year. And pretty much we've bought and sold about one property a month. A lot of that's just the word of mouth within our internal network, that vertical integration that comes from our homeowners who want exiting and our tenants who want to buy. And then on top of that, just through natural word of mouth being in a smaller mountain community. So I think there's probably a better chance of that transactional buying and selling in 2026.
That's exciting, especially when you've already got the solid foundation that you have right here. Charles, before we wrap up, if someone wants to reach out, connect, learn more about what you're doing at Snowcap Properties, what's the best way for them to reach you?
Our website at Snowcapped Properties, actually, sorry, snowcappedpm.com. That's our website. We have presence on Facebook and Instagram as well. Although I will say that I am not as good as updating that. I try to do it once a month, but we update some blogs, some articles, some fun facts about the area and what we're doing on there as well.
Awesome. Well, Charles, we appreciate you being on the show today, sharing all that you have going on and your stories, your insight, and advice. It was really great.
Thank you, Erica. I appreciate it.
And for our listeners, if you got value from this episode, make sure that you're subscribed to the Real Estate Pros podcast. We've got more conversations coming up with operators like Charles who are out there building fantastic real estate empires. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.